In learning objective 2, we talked about the cost of equity capital. In learning objective 3 now, we're going to talk about the cost of debt capital. And we're going to then combine them to come up with the weighted average cost of capital. And that would be the overall cost of equity, the cost of raising capital, so to speak, for a company. So to compute the cost of debt capital, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the market rate on debt instruments and the fair value of the debt instrument itself. And basically the internal rate of return on the debt would tell you what the cost of debt capital would be. And we've talked about debt ratings before, but in general, the worse the debt rating, the higher the interest rate. The better the debt rating, the lower the risk, the lower the interest rate. So one formula that can be used for the after-tax cost of debt capital would be the pre-tax borrowing rate for debt times 1 minus the tax rate. So computing 1 minus the tax rate is very important because for equity, we have dividends which are tax-free. However, for debt is subsidized by the government in essence because it's tax-deductible. So therefore, it makes sense when you compute what the borrowing rate is to multiply it by 1 minus the effective tax rate in order to figure out what the real cost of borrowing is. So you would take the pre-tax average borrowing rate, and that could be interest expense divided by the average amount of debt. It would be a simple way to figure it out. And it's actually disclosed in the notes. And the income tax rate is what's going to be called the statutory. You could use the effective rate. There's marginal and statutory. The effective rate is okay to use, I think, here. So here's an example. Let's say this company has $648,000 in interest expense, an average debt of $8 million. So that interest rate would be 648 divided by 8 million. And then multiply it by 1 minus the marginal tax rate. See, the problem with marginal tax rate is you don't know what it is when you look at the financial statement. Companies don't disclose the marginal tax rate. So you're really stuck using the effective tax rate instead of the statutory rate. So you would get 5.3% would be the cost of debt capital.